Today we're going to be taking a look at and testing this YIXIANG MB56 32 kilowatt hour 51.2 volt lithium iron phosphate battery. This is made by YIXIANG Power. We originally reviewed one of their 314 amp hour DIY pack a few months ago on the channel, but this thing is a completely different beast. It's essentially double the size of that battery. That battery weighed 300 pounds and was 16 kilowatt hours. This one weighs 600 pounds and is 32 kilowatt hours. So inside this box, we have the version 19 JK BMS running everything. It has 16 EVE Mb56 628 amp hour lithium iron phosphate cells. It also has an aerosol fire suppressor built in as well. Now, originally when these first came out, these were actually sold as a kit. So you'd get the box and the cells separately. They'd come separately in boxes and you would actually have to build it. But now this is actually being sold as a pre-assembled pack. You can buy it right now, $3,600. Making it a really good value to get a ton of storage for your solar system. And the nice thing about using one singular giant pack is you only have to make one connection. So as you guys can see right here, I did go ahead and connect a set of 2 aught gauge cables. This is connected to my full house 48 volt off-grid solar power system. I connected it the first day I got the battery just because I was so excited to get it. So I'm gonna bring you guys in for a closer look of the front panel of the battery. Then we're actually gonna open up the battery. I'm gonna show you guys what everything looks like on the inside. Since this was pre-assembled, I do wanna check a couple things just to make sure everything is good to go. Then we're actually gonna do a full capacity test. The battery itself looks really nice. It has a nice matte black finish. You get carry handles on the side, even though you really can't carry this thing because of how heavy it is. Also on the side, you get these little magnetic dust vents. So these are gonna help keep dust and stuff out of the battery. These are for cooling to help keep the BMS and everything cool. And this thing has so much volume on the inside, it really shouldn't ever have to worry about heat, especially if you're not gonna be pushing this thing to the absolute limits. Another thing you'll notice right here, we have these latches because you can actually stack multiple of these together. So if you had 2 of these in one stack, you would have a 64 kilowatt hour battery that's no bigger than a fridge, which is awesome. And here you can see the MB56 pack next to my 16 kilowatt hour DIY flat laying pack. And I did a full build video on this battery as well. And I really like this battery a lot. It's actually been in service for a few months now. And it was a very big help to add a lot of capacity. So it's roughly double the size. What I want to try to do in the future is maybe stack the 16 kilowatt hour battery on top of 32 kilowatt hour battery. Then you'd have a 48 kilowatt hour battery stack. That'd be pretty cool. Look at these 2 units looking good next to each other. That's a lot of capacity and a lot of weight. Here's a better look at our front panel. We have a massive 300 amp breaker, so this makes it easy to turn on and off the power. So you click it off, the battery is now off. It's isolated from the rest of your system. Click it on, and it's reconnected, too easy. This is gonna be our main on and off power button. So you hold this to turn on and off the BMS. You have our nice screen right here, which is just like all the other JK BMS screens. Go ahead and peel this off. Look at that. This is probably my favorite screen on all my batteries. It stays on consistently, so it makes it very easy to kind of glance over and see what's going on with the battery. Along with the screen to see your state of charge, you also have a state of charge indicator right here with just these LEDs, also making it very easy to see what's going on. You have your main on and off LED. You have some dip switches. All your communication ports are right here, and these are all programmable in the BMS itself. And we are gonna test the communication capabilities of this battery in this video. We also have a dry contact as well. So in the screen itself, you can actually see the pack and go over all the cells to make sure everything looks happy and healthy. It's also gonna keep track of total cycles. And using the JK BMS on your phone, it makes it very easy to go in there. You can see a lot more information, and you can also make changes for your specific needs or wants. It's very easy to do with the app. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the lid so we can get a closer look at the inside of this thing. All right, this is my first time ever seeing these massive MB56 cells, and these things are even bigger than they look on YouTube. If you guys have ever seen these in person, you know what I'm talking about, but the videos do not do it justice of really how big these cells are. And this layout is very similar to a lot of the other YIXIANG batteries that we built on the channel, and I was very impressed at how nice all the hardware is. They give you really nice humped, thick bus bars. These are very thick. They look like they can hold a lot of current. The balance wires, I love how they always put them on this little PCB board, and then they just simply connect with ring terminals. They are not soldered. They are actually bolted to the bus bars, and all these connections feel really good and secure. This little deal right here is for the fire suppressor that's in the bottom right there. It's actually right where the BMS goes. There's definitely a lot of foam. There's foam between all the batteries. There's also some sheets on the side. There's some fiberglass sheets behind the foam as well to kind of stiffen everything up. So everything looks really nice. It looks like they did a really good job building this. They even marked all the terminals to let you know that they torqued them. Here's a really good close-up look at where our BMS is sitting. So we have a big, massive 300 amp fuse right there. And that goes to our 300 amp circuit breaker, which is also a monster of its own, using the same thick bus bars that they're using here. All of that looks really good. I went ahead and disconnected our breaker and the negative terminal from the battery so we can pull this front cover off and we can get a better look at the BMS. I did go ahead and de-energize the battery as well. However, all the cells and everything are still gonna be live, so I'm gonna be very careful. All right, there we go. That just comes right off. And with our front cover removed, you can see our nice beefy JK BMS. The wire management looks really good too. This is all nicely illuminated. There's actually 2 fire suppressors. And then you can also see a better visual representation. You have 8 cells on the top, 8 cells on the bottom. So that's your 16S configuration. Another look at the large fuse, has its own little pedestal mount. Every connection I've taken off so far has been nice and tight. No loose connections. I'm gonna recheck all these. But everything looks really good. It looks like they did a really good job putting this together. And then there's a good look at the back of the main panel. You can see our main power output lugs are real nice and thick. And then our really large 300 amp breaker. And there's tons of room up here. So there's a lot of room for everything to stay cool. Whenever we start stress testing the battery, it's gonna make it very easy to check all of these with a thermal camera, just to make sure nothing's getting crazy hot. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slap this thing together so we can start testing it. And while I have this thing open, I wanna compare the cell size. This is an MB31 314 amp hour cell. And if you look and I put them next to the MB56, it's almost like 2 of these put together. It's literally double the capacity, double the weight, double everything really. So it's pretty cool, because I thought these cells were big, but yeah, these MB56s don't play around. And hopefully they bring some more DIY kits back, because I would love to build this myself. It actually looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Now, in order to properly capacity test this massive battery, I'm gonna roll this whole assembly over to my EG4 12,000 XP power cart that I built in a separate video. That inverter is capable of 12,000 watts continuous, which is more than enough to put a massive load on this battery. My goal is to run a 0.2C discharge rate, which is gonna be around 120 amp. And to get the load, I'm actually going to be using an EV charger. That's the only thing I really have that's capable of pulling that much load. And luckily with this thing on furniture dollies, it's pretty easy to move around. It's still heavy, but it's very manageable. Now what I would really love to do, and I'm pretty sure this would work, is just go ahead and put the entire pack on this cart. Right now we just have 4 300 amp hour batteries in series, but we're probably gonna do that in a later video. I don't have my cherry picker. I don't have really any other way to lift this battery. I'm gonna go ahead and get a set of leads made to go from the battery to our inverter. I'm also going to add a current shunt so we can monitor the capacity of the battery and see what everything is doing. All right, the MB56 pack is fully recharged. We have it connected to our 12,000 XP inverter. I have a very large extension cord running from here, going there into the garage. We're gonna connect this to an electric car, and we're gonna be pulling close to 6,000 watts. So there's our cord right there. It's gonna go in the garage. Here we have the EV charger. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the charger to 24 amps. And that's about as close as I can get it to a 0.2C load. There we go. And there we go, we're pulling about 5,800 watts. And on the actual DC side, we're closer to 6,000 watts through our shunt. Same thing on the BMS, we're right around 112 amps. And the final capacity will be displayed right here on our meter where it says total amp hours. So once this thing shuts off, this is gonna give us our final number. Also, one other thing I wanna point out is if you guys notice, I have this orange communication wire running to the battery, connected to our 12,000 XP, and I was able to get communications working just fine. We are getting a state of charge. Now I did configure the inverter to shut down based on voltage, not state of charge, because if the state of charge goes to 0, this thing would shut down. So I'm gonna have this thing shut down either at 40 or 42 volts, or if the BMS shuts off first. And if everything goes smoothly, this should take about 5 hours, so I will see you guys. And for those of you who are curious, the car currently is at 59%. This car is equipped with a 66 or 68 kilowatt hour battery. So it'll be interesting to see how close to 100 we can get, or maybe we will be able to get to 100. And we're charging about 18 miles each hour. The capacity test has just completed on our MB56 YIXIANG pack, and we got a total of 665 amp hours. So definitely over the rated 628. I went ahead and fully recharged the MB56 after our capacity test. Now I want to do sort of a stress test with it. We have it hooked up again to the EG4 12,000 XP. I did go ahead and clean off this whole cart, and all we're going to be doing is running just this battery with a set of 2/0 gauge cables directly to the inverter. Now for the load, we're going to plug it into an electric truck. So I'm going to take you guys outside and show you guys the load real quick. The charge cable I'm using is going to give me a max power of about 40 amps at 240 volts, which is very close to 10,000 watts. And that's going to pull 200 amps on the DC side. Now in the JK BMS app out of the box, the battery's BMS max continuous charge current and discharge current was set to 200 amps. So I did go ahead and raise that to 250 amps. From everything I've seen, this thing should be able to handle 300 amps. The BMS is rated for 300 amps, the breaker is rated for 300 amps, the fuse is rated for 300 amps. Personally, I probably wouldn't push it that hard, but I think 250 is still being very conservative. So I did go ahead and raise that limit. Once we get fully up to full charging power, we should be pulling right around 200 amps. Once we verify that we're pulling 200 amps, we're just gonna let this battery run the test, see how it does. While it's running the load, we're actually gonna take the cover off and I'm gonna take a thermal camera and we're actually gonna look inside the battery just to make sure nothing's getting hot and doing anything weird. And we're also gonna make sure the battery doesn't shut down. So that's it. It should be a pretty tough test to do. Luckily the inverter we have should handle it just fine and everything should be just fine. For the load, we're gonna be using this GMC Sierra EV. This is the short range version, so it has a 120 kilowatt hour battery and it can charge up to 11.5 kilowatts or 48 amps with the correct charging cable. However, I only have a charge cable that's good for 40 amps, so we're only gonna be able to pull 40 amps, so that's still enough to stress test the battery as we see fit. Now, I really like this truck. I've only had it for a few months. I really love electric vehicles, period, and a lot of people don't think trucks are very useful to have as an electric vehicle, but I can tell you guys this thing is amazing. And I wanna do a full video on this truck by itself. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get the charge cable connected. And the charger I'm using is actually an adjustable charge rate charger. So if y'all didn't know that those exist, they do. Let you adjust the charge rate anywhere from 10 amps all the way up to 40, and we have it maxed out. And as you guys can see, we're putting about 8.4 kilowatts straight into the truck, which is about 18 miles an hour of range. So that's really good for a vehicle this big. And as you guys can see by the charger, we're putting in 40 amp or about 9,400 watts. And the inverter's handling it just fine. The fans are running. It's almost 10,000 watts on the DC side, about 9,500 on the output side. And this inverter's handling like a champ. Let's see how many amps we're pulling on the battery. And we're right at 200 amps. Now that we're charging at full power, we're gonna go ahead and take the battery cover off. I did go ahead and feel all the cables and everything feels okay, nothing's getting hot. It amazes me that you can charge an electric vehicle with almost 10 kilowatts with just one battery. I don't know how much better you can get. We're gonna go ahead and boot up our thermal camera and take a look at everything. We're running now for about 5 minutes. All right, so taking a good look at everything with the thermal camera. Sorry guys, I'm having to hold this and record it. We're not really seeing a ton of heat. There's some heat on that bus bar in the back. If we put our little aimer on there, that's at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really nothing. You can tell the bus bars are slightly warmer than the surrounding environment, but the cells themselves are still cold. This fuse right here has a little bit of heat on it. We're looking at about 140 degrees on that. And that really looks like the hottest part of everything. It's just the fuse. That's gonna be our main positive connection, 90 degrees. Main negative, about 90 degrees as well. Our BMS down there looking nice and happy, about 97 degrees. Everything seems really good. And you can even see the cables kind of going a little bit as well. That spot right there is the dog, RJ. So really the only thing that's even getting remotely warm is the fuse. That's it though. Everything else is running stone cold. And running these cells at 200 amps, that's almost 0.3 C. They do rate the cells at 0.5 C max continuous discharge. So 200 amps is not really gonna break a sweat with these MB56 cells. This battery's awesome. Look at that. All right, we've been running the test now for about half an hour. The battery still has 78% state of charge. That's amazing. I kept checking the temperature and really the only thing that's getting even remotely hot is the fuse. We're at 160 degrees. Everything else is running either warm or ice cold. Like even the bus bars here on the battery, they still feel cold to the touch. So all those connections are very well made. And I did think they used adequate bus bar thicknesses and materials to build this battery. BMS, everything else in there looks really happy running at this power level. In the real world, I'm probably never gonna even push this battery this hard because I have so many other batteries that are gonna be connected to my system in parallel. If you wanted to build a system with just one battery, you would definitely want to use a large battery like this one, and it would definitely be able to support whatever you could pretty much throw at it. And the max current that this EG4 12K XP can pull is 250 amps, and it can also charge with 250 amps. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up testing the MB56 pack by YIXIANG Power. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments about this behemoth of a battery. Overall, I was impressed. They did a good job assembling it. The build quality is actually improved from their version 1. They did make a couple changes to this box, and now you can buy it completely assembled. So if you don't like the idea of having to build the battery yourself, you buy this thing, $3,600. Shows up on a pallet, open the box, connect it to your system, and you are good to go. There's no fuss. I like building the batteries, but it's cool that they sell this as a ready-to-go battery as well. I think that might appeal to some people. As far as cost, you're gonna come in a little bit over $100 per kilowatt hour, making very competitively priced and around the same price as a lot of their other DIY packs at which you could build yourself. And it's about half the cost of the most expensive batteries on the market. It has communication features. You have a nice version 19 inverter BMS, one of the best BMSs you can get right now. A lot of batteries use that BMS. JK BMSs are very reliable. I've used them in my own personal builds. Phone app for the JK BMS is amazing. It makes it very easy to program any settings you want to change in it and monitor what's going on with the battery. Really, the only thing you have to watch out for with this battery is you have to be ready for how large it is, and you have to have a plan to move it. You have to have several people even a cherry picker, and you do have to be careful moving it. Most people aren't gonna need to move this thing around. So if you can get it in your spot where you want it, get it hooked up, you are good to go. Or do what I do, put some furniture dollies underneath it, you'll be just fine. YIXIANG sells a nice wheeled base with very heavy duty casters. You can buy that as well if you want. You can stack more batteries on top. You can really integrate this however you want to do in your setup. And being this is a DIY pack, or it was sold as a DIY pack, it's 100% user serviceable. You can service everything in this battery. You can replace cells, you can replace the BMS. But that's really it. I'm gonna try to clear some space in my system so I can get this thing hooked up and I can start cycling it daily. And here it is all connected. We are actually using it right this second. And with that large battery added, my setup now has a total of 143 kilowatt hours. I never thought it would grow to this size and complexity, but it has. It looks a lot worse than it is. We are gonna clean up all these wires in the future. But anyways, that's gonna do it for looking at the MB56 by YIXIANG Power. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, leave them in the comments. I will be in the comments reading everything and replying to as many as possible. Thank you all for joining me on the Mike Builds YouTube channel, and I'll see y'all next time.